Good morning. This is Jason Dean coming live at you again for another Film Fanatic show. It is 10:57 on a Wednesday morning. Freaking cold day today. It's been we've been in a serious cold snap here in Mid Coast, Maine. Had a couple days where it was like 5 degrees. It's like a wind chill of like -5 or something like that. Crazy, but hey, it's winter time, so good time to stay inside and watch movies. But but again, isn't it? Any time is right for that. So, but anyway, I want to thank There's been a lot of people again commenting on the videos. It's been a lot of fun. I just uploaded some videos past the past day or two, yesterday and then also this morning. Uploaded some videos. But I've been messing around with. And I've been kind of liking that I guess that format or this format a little bit more where I've been kind of setting the videos up as premieres. And so it's been breaking up a little bit of, as far as the delivery of the new shows that are coming up. There's a lot of shows that I'm still, going to and going to, that are on the radar as far as new things that I'm going to be doing. I want to do more interview shows with Film Fanatic, but I haven't really gotten that together yet because obviously that takes a lot more work. But I just got to prioritize it and make it a thing because it's that requires a lot more work. The interviews, a few of the interviews that I did, especially with people who are actually in the industry. I had some really great interviews with some directors and some actors and actresses. That requires a lot more time and effort, scheduling and all those things. But I want to do that more. I just got to put my foot down and actually make that happen. But in the meantime, I've been doing these, my regular videos. And I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do some. I think I'm gonna do some music. A few music shows coming up. I've done that before. I've covered lots of music. I've done shows on some of my favorite groups and some of my favorite bands before. Because again, it's all kind of part of it's all a part of my weird brain and why I am the person that I am, I guess. And so it's all to me. It's all related. So I'm gonna do a few shows coming up, probably later in the week or starting next week, where I'm going to do some shows talking about some newer bands that I've gotten into and some albums I've been listening to a lot. Things that I've been really diving into. So stay tuned for that and maybe a couple of other things. So we'll see. And and then also I want to talk about you know continuing things, the continuing saga of which is Quantum. We have some shows coming up, so I'm excited about that. I'm looking to try to keep the band more active this year. That was one of the goals I wanted to do this year coming into 2025 because we typically take, a lot of time off and then try to get the summer rolling with gigs and springtime. And usually during the spring and summer, we're pretty busy with gigs, but I wanted to try to keep the momentum a little bit more sustained through the winter months, especially since we just put out a new album about a month ago or so. And so I want to keep that going. But anyway, and also tonight I am going. So there'll be another. Which will be the first time I've ever done. This will be a brand new thing for me as far as this channel goes. I am going to go see Nosferatu, Robert Eggers' Nosferatu again tonight, and I'm really excited to see it again. I've been wanting to see it again ever since I first saw it, especially in the theater. So I'm gonna go see it tonight. It's playing. It's got its last night at the Colonial Theater, so I'm excited to see it. I don't think It's going to be quite the. I don't think it's playing in the Colonial Theater is an amazing theater, but the Dreamland, there's three theaters inside, or three theaters inside the actual Colonial Theater. There's two in the upstairs that are pretty nice, pretty decent. They're kind of more of like your standard movie theater kind of situation. But then there's downstairs, which is called the Dreamland, and that's an actual old kind of old school vaudeville theater. And that is an awesome spot to see a movie. It's really good. The sound is great. The seating is great. Um, I'm fingers crossed that Nosferatu is going to be in the downstairs in the Dreamland, but I think because the movie's been out for a few weeks, it probably won't be there. So we'll see. But anyway, I want to go see it on a big screen because I feel like there's a lot of movies I've seen over the years and also this year that I kind of regret not going to see in the theater. And to me, even though I can get a really great version of that film on Blu-ray 4K or something, and it's usually an amazing experience. In some ways, it's better of a more intense experience. You still can't beat for me. You just still can't beat the theater going experience. And I a lot of times, years, you can't get a chance to see a movie a second time in the theater. So I'm going to do a second review for my second viewing of Nosferatu. I'm hoping it still holds up, and I'm hoping it's as just as fabulous as an experience as it was the first time I saw it. And it's going to be the last night that it's going to be there is tomorrow, Thursday night. But we're going to go tonight to see it. So I figured, why the hell not? And so I'll do a review of my second experience for Nosferatu, which I've never done on this channel. Since I've actually had this channel, which has been a couple of years now, I've never done a review on a movie I've seen twice in the theater. So this will be your first time. I haven't done that in a super long time. I think one of the last movies I saw in the theater twice was I remember going to see and this is a long time ago, but I remember going to see Return of the King, Lord of the Rings. I remember seeing that twice in the theater, and I think The Two Towers. I saw both of those movies twice in the theater. And then when The Dark Knight came out, Christopher Nolan's Batman movie, Heath Ledger, I saw that twice in the theater. And I'm trying to think of any other films I've seen twice in the theater. No, I don't think I have, so it's kind of crazy. So, yeah, I'm excited. And anyway, so today's show, I've been, trying to mix up things. I'm always trying to add some variety to this channel. The focus always being on mainly on my first love, and all things in the low budget exploitation realm, especially horror. And most of the films I always cover on this channel are horror films. But like I've said many, many, many times, maybe too many times, I love all kinds of movies. So I always try to interject something that is way different than what I normally do. So today's show is going to be on the most recent Woody Allen movie that I just saw the other night, and it's just awesome. I'm a huge Woody Allen fan. I have covered a few of his movies over the years. Woody Allen has been. Well, it's funny. Like growing up, I always knew who Woody Allen was, and I'd always heard of his, some of his, had seen on the sidelines. I'd always heard about a lot of his films throughout the years. I mean, obviously, I kind of feel as far as an American filmmaker, he's kind of an American treasure, and he is one of the most prolific directors in in the history of cinema, and he's got so many different. He's got there's obviously that classic Woody Allen style where a lot of the dialogue is pretty rapid fire. There, a lot of his films are melodramas. He's done some surrealistic comedies and films. He's also done, kind of straight up comedies. He he's also done a lot of great films that are melodramas, but they are also kind of suspense films and they have thriller elements. I really love his films of where when he's in kind of this the suspense realm, the some of the films that are thrillers. And it's interesting because, like, again, I had always, growing up, always knew who he was, and I had seen some of his films, and I always thought they were good, and I always thought I was always interested in his stuff, but I never took a deep dive into his films, and I never became a big fan. Compared to say other directors, say Hollywood directors that I grew up watching, say like I don't know, like James Cameron or Martin Scorsese, for instance, were directors I always loved and I got into at a very young age. But for me, my my foray into getting into Woody Allen as a director and his films was much later. A lot of his films too. A lot of the characters. Another characteristic of a lot of his films is like a lot of his stories or his characters are very eccentric and neurotic. That kind of capture him of kind of his personality. So there was a film, the movie that did it for me, that made me a really huge fan of his work. And again, this is a much later film in his career, and that was a movie that he did. That's called Match Point, which is a really great movie. One of the first movies I ever saw with Scarlett Johansson, and I got to see that in the theater. And that movie's like a straight up thriller. And that was the movie. I really love that movie, and it's one of his later films. But that was one of those moments of where I was in it to win it after I saw that film. Um, you know, and that was the movie that got me into his work, and then after that, I kind of went down this deep rabbit hole. And this film came out, Match Point came out quite a few years ago now. It's hard to believe. It came out in 2005. But after that, after seeing that movie, I got to see it in this beautiful theater back when it came out that no longer exists, and it was in Camden, Maine, which is about 15 minutes from my house here in Northport. There used to be this amazing theater there called Bayview Cinema, and I saw it there, and that was what did it for me. But I mean, he's got so many great films. I mean, I'll just run through some of them. Rainy Day in New York, Irrational Man, Cafe Society, Sleeper, which is one of his earlier films, one of my favorite films of his. Moonlight in Paris, Crimes and Misdemeanors, which is probably my favorite Woody Allen film. I mean, just so many great movies. Annie Hall, of course. Um, just so many great films. And I really love when he dives into the world of the thriller. That is, for me, where it's at. And he just put out a movie that it says, when I looked it up, it came out in 2023, but I'm not sure if that's right. And this movie is a big thing, a big change for Woody Allen as a director. This is called. It's a French movie. It's his first film that he ever directed that is essentially a foreign movie. It's a French film. It's all in French and French actors and actresses. It's in with English subtitles. And it came out. It's called Coup de Chance. Pardon my French, pun intended. Coup de Chance, and it's a French movie that was directed by Woody Allen, and it's really good. I just watched it the other night, and I just came across it. in my last trip to Opera House Video, I came across it, and and again, this movie's really good because this movie is it's a crime movie and it's a thriller, and it's a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of a cat and mouse movie, and it's basically about this husband who suspects his wife of having this kind of lurid affair on the side that's been going on for a while, and you over time you realize that the husband, obviously he gets, you know, he goes through lots of trauma because of it, and but he eventually in the story gets he hires a private investigator to basically prove to himself whether his wife is having an affair or not. And it's about the series of events that happen when this all kind of transpires. And it's pretty dark, and you start understanding that one of the main characters in this film is actually kind of an evil bastard, and it just slowly opens up more and more. But it's really great. It's a you know it's you know I know a lot of folks that don't seem to like a lot of Woody Allen's more like his later work, but I love all of his stuff. I actually there aren't really any of his films that I don't like. It's kind of interesting, but Crimes and Misdemeanors, and I'm more in the old school thing frame of mind as far as his films. Like Sleeper is one of my favorites. Crimes and Misdemeanors, those are his some of his older films, but he's got so many great movies to his credit. But I like a lot of his later stuff, the stuff he's done, within the last 10 years, because again he's so prolific. But Coup de Chance is a really good, really great movie. It's got that typical kind of rapid fire dialogue that you expect in a Woody Allen movie. There's a lot of dialogue and it's coming at you quick, and the characters are really popping with life. But essentially, this movie is like a mystery. It is definitely a thriller. It's great, very very cool, super entertaining. And again, I can't. There isn't a movie I can really think of in his amazingly huge career as a director that I don't like. I mean, I kind of like all of his films, everything I do that I've seen over the years. The one thing I say, like, I like his like another film of his that's amazing, Deconstructing Harry. Like that's another amazing film. I tend to like his films that are maybe a little bit more. I mean, his comedies are brilliant and everything, but and I love that stuff. But I tend to like his films when they're a little bit more serious, or like his melodramas are really good, fantastic. But I really love when he kind of dives into the kind of the thriller genre. I think he does it so great because he combines all of his other elements into a lot of those kinds of films, and I think this is really great. It's just a great film, really entertaining, and it's a great little thriller. So highly recommend it. It just came out, but even though I looked it up online and it said it came out in 2023, so I think it actually was released in 2023, but it didn't get like a release as far as I saw it on DVD. So I don't think it didn't get an actual release until this year, but definitely check it out. It's awesome, and again another incredible film to add to his just it's just such a prolific list of films. So thanks again, and we will see you next time. Peace.